Currently, there is serious celebration in the south region of Nigeria, and more precisely, River State political atmosphere. Some elders has come out en masse to appreciate and adore Fubara for freeing them from the chains and shackles of former Governor Wike.
I am going to speak to the paper because I'm told already that I have only 10 minutes. The word liberation means that the people involved must at one time or the other be held hostage against conscience, against their interests, against whatever they stood for. A people held bound by superior hegemonic state interests. And that the time came, they became free. The word democratic rebirth comes from two words: democracy and rebirth. In this circumstance, democracy is being used like a company to paint a rebirth, meaning that there is a newness, a freshness, a song of victory, a joy to behold, and freedom from a particular situation. Then you go further, you look at what we call people-oriented leadership. People-oriented leadership comes from leadership that is service-oriented, a servant leader. Now, if I take it from the beginning, I am told you what liberation is: to be free from a state of being bound, or arrested, or arrested. Democracy simply means the government of the people, and do all by the people and for the people, isn't it? Yes. That is what the general definition is. But the left-leaning classical student would say it is the anarchy and overpressingness of the majority, where, whether you like it or not, if you are in the minority, people must oppress you. Oppression by the majority. And indeed, this we have seen in our time. It is the story of the Ijaw people. Pre-colonial, Nigeria was divided into north, east, and west. And then classical political students started asking, where is the south? Nobody told us where the south was. Instead, they decided that the south would mean anybody below the river Niger, or the meaning the east. But it took a gentleman and a just son to give us an inkling into where the south was. He converted a place that people felt was infested with mosquitoes and danger into a region and gave it a geographical dimension with reverberated politics. That son from Borno is Chief Aaron Dapapi. He called the area they used to mention the 9th Delta, following the footprints of the agitation of the job, following the footprints of the Wellings Commission. And then when he had done whatever he had to do, he was bracing. He never feared. He also not only mentioned the 9th Delta, he instituted a political vehicle with which the political emancipation of the South that was missing from the map of Nigeria can be brought to light. And so he instituted and convoked a party called the Niger Delta Congress. That party was to go ahead with all its numerous supporters to try to make sure that people knew that there is a South. If you look at the Nigerian political lexicon, most times they will tell you Niger, sometimes they will tell you South. They don't know what they want to do with the area because they are afraid to mention their sins to the area. In doing whatever Okilo that must be it, he was able to rally around these people and make sure that these people had a common space, a place to ventilate, a place they can call their own, and be able to show to the world that they are people. I must tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I was in Okike Grammar School in 1966, when most of you were not born. And I came to the market in Port Harcourt one day with my father to buy textbooks. And when we came to the market, we saw some of us dressed in this beautiful Etibo and the Rapa. The Igbo people that were there in the market, that time the Port Harcourt market was at Lagos bus stop there, with that place where there's a police station. That police, the old Ambrose Stadium, was the market. The market moved up to hospital room, and there's another market that was in town. And then what I suddenly saw was that some people were beating drums and cackles and following Ijaw people, proudly dressed Ijaw people that came from the water side, because we were wearing uncommon dresses. The reason was, Port Harcourt was our own, we knew. We knew that the 1913 agreement showed that it was our fathers that ceded it to the British. But then when the hegemonies came, they took over Port Harcourt. The streets were impotent. The major infrastructure, like roads, were named people named. The mayors were Igbo people. I'm sure you have heard about the Siminalayi, IPAC, and so on. And so you find out that our people lived in abject delusion. A lot of things were deprived of. And so these people continued to canvass. The idea was at that time, by the hegemony, while the North was cooling down on the Middle Belt, to usurp the Middle Belt as part of the North. The Igbo areas were pulling down on River State to make sure that River State was part of the Biafran contraption. The action group was moving through the West and trying to take the whole Belgium state. So nobody was interested in making sure that the Niger Delta existed. But through the efforts, singular efforts of the RiverDarkMan and the Ijaw, Nigeria was able to get independent by extending that shake across the Niger with their common interest with the NPC. That relationship brought about the independence of Nigeria. So you may today clap for yourself that this country that tries to deprive you of everything, this country that tries to move you out of the space and oppresses you towards political expression, was actually a creation of your father. Because the British told Nigeria, because you people in the North are MPs, West was Action Group, and East was NCS. It is only a government of national strength that we will grant, when we see that type of party, that will give you independence. So it was Tapabriye's idea, using Okilo as the man who won the Biafra constituency, and with the alignment with the MPC in the North, the British now saw and gave Nigeria independence. So we gave Nigeria independence. This relationship by Okilo, a protege of Rapa, was going to take Okilo to Lagos. And I beg you, ladies and gentlemen, if you are here, sit down and read the history books. Some people will tell you not to read or teach history because they are afraid of the things they did to you in the past. And I can tell you When Ogiba arrived in Lagos, his house became the beehive of political activities. That was how our people did not only have Nigeria as an independent state, but started playing prominent roles. Now, the interesting thing about this story I'm telling you is that this story was now dovetail into a group of political activists coming together, and later in post-colonial independence, post-independence, coming together of our interests under the great names like Origi, you name it, our forefathers, Wenike Briggs, and co. The interesting thing about this story is this. We brought independence to the people. And when we finally brought that independence to the people, the first governor of this state was an Ijaw man. And so as far as Ijaw people are concerned, this is what I'm going to make. The day that the River State was created out of the beehive of the political activities of our fathers, Kudirat Kekere-Ekun, 27th May 1967, that was the first liberation day of River State. And for those of you who are old enough to know, it is not history. It is we, the Ijaw people that are sitting, relaxed in Zion, that are allowing the history to be eradicated. People are trying to make us to be amnesty. At that time, we did not only celebrate the Liberation Day. There was a road called Liberation Road, which is called Block Road. There is Captain Amangala, named after one of the war heroes that came physically with the Nigerian soldiers. There was the Liberation Stadium. We had liberation written everywhere. I have never, as an activist, seen a nation where people name a place after their struggle and subsequent generations come back later to rename it, to remove that history. We did it by ourselves. And I believe a time will come under this governorship, since we are beginning to recover our own, that we must name certain places to commemorate that history. For sure. Because we did not only create the independence Nigeria is enjoying today, it is our people who were in the forefront of creating the river state of today. Now, the other thing I want to tell us is this. Why am I tracing this history back? For somebody who does not know, maybe a younger person, you will say when they say liberation, we are talking about the events of last year. No, I am trying to trace the fact that we moved from the liberation of an hegemonistic national interest to our state interest. And now we are now battling ourselves to free ourselves from internal subversion and betrayal. And therefore, the events of 30th October last year actually were the second liberation of River State. Freedom of River State from the economic resources and assets that people wanted to steal and hold us captive. And so we have two liberations. One is the liberation that led to the physical creation of River State. Two, the one led by Fubara that made us to resist the attempt to take away our independence from us. Now the issue is democracy. We keep saying it's the government of the people by the people of the people. Democracy will only thrive in an environment where there is respect for law and order. Democracy also feeds on a place where there is justice and truth. Democracy feeds also on a vibrant economy. If you look at the last election in the United States, while Kamala Harris was busy preaching esoterics talking about women own their bodies and this and that. Trump, the criminal that is, decided to tell the people we are talking about career stomach infrastructure. Are you better today or worse today than when you were under the American people? Because they wanted a better state of life, because of the indices of inflation, the indices of unemployment. Despite all the crimes Trump committed, reported him as a felon, the first American president who is a felon to be so elected, showing you that democracy thrives with the will of the people through stomach infrastructure and through a vibrant economy. Democracy also thrives when there's transparency. Transparency of people in power. Now, what have we experienced in this part of the world and in River State in the past? Before Fubara came on board, we saw a situation where politicians did not only win elections, they were also the businessmen. They also had in the briefcase of the average politician who won the election. And several companies he has already incorporated. So when it reaches that award contracts, he awards from his portfolio. We also see a situation where the man who is the chief executive, the former emperor behind the government house, after taking the 40 years, also decides to be allocating, okay, we do this one. Give this, give this. And so it was giving it to his cronies and to his henchmen, thereby contracting the economic space. When we came on board first as Ijaw people, when our fathers ruled this land, the politician went into politics and governance. Some other people went into doing contract and business, isn't it? But today I got businessmen, the businessmen and the politicians. And so contracting the economic space led to an idea that you find a situation where democracy cannot thrive. Therefore, for democracy to thrive, you need to free the economic space. You need to create wealth. You need to establish companies, employ people, so that the money can go around. You do not talk about democratic rebirth or democracy when there is no freedom of economic emancipation. You do not talk about rebirth when there is no joy in the faces of the people. I just said today, every place you go to, people are crying. I remember some time ago during Obasanjo's era, a popular politician came up with a song. Nigeria, Jaga Jaga, Oban, Sofa Sofa, Bosa Kusa. And then suddenly, Obasanjo as the sitting president was angry. And he came on national air and said that boy was being madman. He needed his head to be examined. But some other people do forget not so. You need to listen. The music of the streets is the yearning of the people. These musicians you are seeing are speaking the minds of the people, are not ghetto people. The ghetto is not born in them. You are just by chance born in the ghetto. Therefore, you have to listen. But you have to move the extra money to see how you could turn the economy around, which Goodluck Jonathan made sure was well implemented. The reason I'm taking you through all this is because for democracy to thrive, you must also have the institutions. Institutions like INEC, institutions like the judiciary, institutions like the police, civil society. What have we seen now? INEC is not independent. INEC is dependent on the president. We also see a situation where the police that is supposed to be our friend is the same police that is shooting our governor. We also see today, ladies and gentlemen, that the NGOs before now were very much present in our midst. To the point that if you had a case and the case is public, NGOs, civil societies, and others came to your aid. But these days now, the NGOs have all failed because of economic pressure, financial pressure, and lack of performance. We also see a situation where the system, by the state governments, by the government and the state actors themselves, tend to be very violent on NGOs. So for that reason, and since the Nigerian insurance system doesn't pay much, the NGOs have left the scene. And so you find in Nigeria, pillars that will sustain democracy are all weak. Instead, we have presidents that spoke like kings, governors that gave directives like kings. So we now find orthodoxy in a democratic system set. We now find a situation where even state governments do not respect law and order. God gives a directive. The state government and the federal government ignore it. Amongst us also feel that nothing is happening. After all, is this life better? I'm free here, but nothing in my stomach. Is it not better to go inside here, prison, so that they can give me peace? So you find a tendency of resolution to that among the citizens. This situation is not helpful to democracy. But thanks be to God, there was a reverse. On the 30th of October last year, a group of young men and women came to fight, put their lives on the line, led by Dr. Fubara, and they were able to arrest a group of groupies who wanted to use political power to throw us and him out of office. I lose the courage of Dr. Fubara. Some other people could stay in their houses and say anything they like, let them do. But he went out with this young man. Even the police who saw him were shooting at him and telling us on television that they didn't recognize him. Can you imagine? So, but we want to salute the courage of Fubara. And you know the interesting thing, I hear the glitching, simplified movement, and they say rivers first. What does rivers first mean? It means that rivers must be central to the policies of the government. The people must own back what they have lost. The people must begin to enjoy the things the enemy took away from them. Meaning that in the design and execution of projects, the people must be central to those policies. We want to salute Fubara. I have known him personally. He's a very humane and nice person. But then he should forget the charlatans that will come around him. Because keep telling him that everything is okay in the town. All is not okay in the town. People are hungry. Society is at the loss and down the stream of hope. The Russians say it is hope that dies. The last thing that dies is hope. And when hope dies in the history of a nation, that nation is lost. We want our people, the women, to go back to the mangroves and let the projects we say we want to do as local government chairman and governor be not only about growth, let there be a serious stimulation of the agriculture economy. The agriculture economy can employ those people. The economy must be such that it must be multi-sectorial. And when we say multi-sectorial, why the agricultural sector is being stimulated? The blue economy, we, the rivers people are the winners of the blue economy. You cannot be part of the blue economy if you don't have the river and ocean passing in it. We own it. The Bayelsans, when the Ijaws own it. But the thing is that we have left it at the federal enclave. Just like we left petroleum to them. We must begin to think how we can farm on those seas, how we can grow food on those seas. The Primary Rice Project is a project in which if you plant rice in the mangrove, you can feed the whole of West Africa. If we go back and invest in agriculture, if we go back and begin to employ our youth in industry, prosperity will return to the land. And therefore the tendency to only be giving topical treatment to emanate that has an underlying pathology does not solve the problem. And therefore, I pray and beseech the government of the day to broaden its net of development, to include not only infrastructure, to include agriculture, to include blue sea economy, to include industrialization, to include the things that we must do to free ourselves from this level of slavery. I remember when I was president of the Ijaw National Congress, some senior officials came from Abuja. They thought they were going to do me good. When I told them all these things were doing, because the people are poor, let's see what we can do for them. They said they are promising good news. And when I asked them what is the good news, they said they are going to teach our people how to repair umbrellas and how to use tire to do slippers. I said, God forbid. I said, this sea, this mudflats, this marine division you have refused to develop, if developed, can employ the whole of our people. And therefore, when you see it, ladies and gentlemen, people who are not used to the sea are the people enjoying the benefits of the sea. The Bible says, go see now. Consider the ways of the ant and the wife. Let us not every time be criticizing Yorubas and Hausas and Igbos. Let us look at their techniques and develop our own super technique. They are trying to steal away the blue economy from us. But who are the people born in the sea and grow in the sea? Our future is in the sea. And therefore we cannot leave what belongs, if there is any fatherland we own, it is the sea. And therefore, we must learn to utilize our mangroves, mudflats, and that is why I plead with all of us that we should not just look at the river, the economic link river that people do research. First and foremost, we know that one is governor, who is empathic, who is humble, who is sensitive. These are pillars of important leadership. But in addition to that, he should free himself of those people who always go to him in government house to say, the people are very happy with you. Your Excellency, the people are very happy with you. And then when they go to their villages, they say, am I not there? Governor is very happy with our local government. Governor says we are still living and that he will see us soon. And so you find out that when the governor actually appears one day, the people are not with him. But we know that we all love Fubara. Fubara is a dream come true. Fubara is the union of the country. And so we must advise him. He should throw away those people that are blocking to stay in government and say no. He should reach out using back channels to the community and get feedback. All is not well. There is poverty in the land. And that poverty is palpable. There is death in the land. And at 2 occasions, driving past in Port Harcourt, seeing people fall down, fainting and dying. This cannot be acceptable under an Ijaw man's leadership. Because we Ijaw people are good at innovating, we plead with our amiable governor to sit down and look at this economy, so that history will have it. That when Obasanjo and Yar'Adua couldn't do anything, and the German called Jonathan did it. When the former governors in Rivers State couldn't help Rivers State, and the German called Fubara fixed it. Let's be the next one. And therefore, the rebirth we are looking for, the democratic rebirth we are looking for, can only happen with people like Fubara and Ijaw. But then, ladies and gentlemen, let us also help them. Some of us talk too much. We should be measured in the way we talk, and we should be careful in our engagement. We should be measured also in our steps. For those Ijaw people who think that they can go outside the job to attack Fubara, I plead with them to come back home. They are prodigal sons. They do not represent the interest of the job. They must therefore begin to come back home and say we are sorry. We on our part, we want to say that what happened on 30th of October 2023 was not a fight between House of Assembly and the government. It was a fight between a group of young men who felt that this state belongs to their father and themselves, and therefore wanted to use a group of 27 lawmakers to create mischief. Thank God we stopped them. In stopping them, we made sure that they didn't run away with our common patrimony and commonwealth. In stopping them, we made sure that the Rivers money remained in Rivers State. In stopping them, we made sure that that money should be used for our development. Therefore, Fubara, I plead with you as governor that we know that projects cost more in the marshland, but it is also factored in the budgets of the federal government and application. Terrain and environment is factored in. Therefore, do not look at the cost of projects in the marshland. Do the projects in our land. Also, make sure that we too have similar beautiful bridges and projects. We need development. And we need development in all areas of River State. From the marshland to the mangrove, to the edge of the sea, down to the mainland. Everybody needs development. Therefore, let us not say, because it is 10 times more expensive to develop a road in the marshland than in a place like Ahoda. We need the Ijaw people. The Ijaw people have been praying since God has answered our prayers. And today, we celebrate victory. Today, we celebrate joy. Today, we celebrate Fubara as God sent. Therefore, let Fubara arise. Let the Ijaw people follow him like they follow their forefathers, and begin to make sure that the Ijaw interests are protected. And to begin to make sure that the Ijaw remains in comfort. Whether you like it or not, I was telling somebody the other day, the Ijaw people are the people who move things in Nigeria. We talked about Ombaden. Our brother is there. No sooner we finished Ombaden, they now did entities. They too, they have started doing regional commission. No sooner we bring an idea, we talk about states. Our father never fought for states. We got 12 states. Suddenly there are the people now enjoying most of the states. We fought for local government. Suddenly Kanu has 43 local governments, even after being balkanized. We are the original thinkers. We must see this process through and make sure that our land is free. Free at last. Oh, at last. Free indeed. By God's grace. Thank you and God bless
you. According to the elders, they said Fubara is brave and bold enough to remove them from the captivity, from the chains of backwardness of the former governor. Recall that many has accused Wike of being a tormentor and a man who do not listen to advice. Some others also said he loved to be in charge of affairs. Hence, it has been very difficult to walk smoothly with him without being oppressed, without being intimidated, without being humiliated. Recall also that while he was governor, he was busy insulting traditional rulers and other statesmen, especially in the state and across the nation. As even till now, you cannot mention Wike's name without getting a reply. Yes, once you mention Wike's name, be expecting a press conference where he will make sure that he brings you to ridicule. That was why Adija Adeyanji responded to him recently and called him a tout, a politician without a second office who's supposed to be cooling off in jail.